nearly all Americans have admitted to at least one bad beach habit. Beach sprawling.
Oh, no.
Is on the list, Pam. I think you been guilty of this?
No,
Okay.
good beach etiquette.
Okay, that's when people actively use tents, seats, and more items take up a huge space at the beach.
I have a cool cabana. It's amazing. I set up by myself today.
They don't bother me.
I have 6 kids, and it's just annoying to carry all those umbrellas. So she had the canopy, and that's how we work it.
6 kids. I'd go to the beach, too. In 2017, Jersey Shore beaches like Belmar, Seaside Heights, and Long Beach Island banned the use of tents or canopies on the beach, but it's a rule that's hardly ever enforced, with many beachgoers still setting up camp near the shore. People against them say they could hurt beachgoers if they blow up and hit somebody in the eye. Some say it blocks the view of the ocean, and that's why you're there in the first place. As a man that lathers on SPF 1000, I'm a fan. But you can bring a small umbrella.
Right. We have a little shade thing that we put up as well. But it's always, when that person goes right in front of you with the big thing, and you're like, that is bad beach.
But some beaches are just enormous where it all fits.
And but it definitely secure them so they don't go blowing around.
Thanks for watching with us. Join us on Take 2 coming up in just a few minutes.
You're staying, right?
We'll be here.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Frank Malika. Welcome to Take 2. We just kind of popped up there, but good to have you. It's the show after the show. Amanda Quintana. We pulled her away from school today to come chat about the first day of school. And James Torres, my sidekick all morning long during traffic.
I've been pulled out of school a long time.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, a lot of schools are kicking off this week, including Oakland Unified. Tens of thousands of students started, and they've got a brand new superintendent. The old superintendent was at the helm for some 8 years, got him out of receivership, 2 more years on her contract, and she was let go.
Yeah. Interesting.
And they brought in a new superintendent who's an interim superintendent. And tell us about her, Denise Sadler. You talked to her today.
Yeah, I talked to her. It's cool because she's been at every stage of education, which I thought was, you know, you get to know it. She's been a teacher. She said she's been elementary school teacher, special ed teacher. Then she was principal for a elementary school, for middle school, for high school.
She's done it all.
She's really done it all. So I think that's kind of interesting to have somebody that.
Well, it's good to have that perspective.
Yeah,
So
because you've seen it all. Yeah.
It's an impossible job.
It's
not just in Oakland, but I think for any school these days, with you know, with what's happening in our society, and money is so tight as well.
I mean, the issue is less kids are going to these schools, so then they can't afford all these different school sites, all these different locations. So then they have to make hard decisions. Okay, what do we cut out? What schools do we close? And we're seeing it all over the Bay Area, and it's not, you know, something that we're just experiencing here. It's really all over.
And she's actually going to go to, like, what, 8, 9, 10 schools today?
To
She's
tour
going to visit them?
Typical superintendent tour on the first day of
kind
school.
of see all the first day of school cheers, and that's what we saw today when we went to the high school.
Yeah, we had talked about, because obviously OUSD is not the first district to return to school so far this school year.
San Jose's already, I think they started last week.
San Jose started.
Alameda, by the way, is today as well.
Today too.
But I can't remember what East Bay. It was somewhere in the East Bay. I want to say it was somewhere in Moraga, but I don't think that's right. That started like the last week of July.
Yeah.
A lot of us were.
Yeah, I grew up in Moraga.
Yeah.
Was it Brentwood?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment, because, you know, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but it was always the Wednesday after Labor Day. You'd go in, meet your teachers, do a couple of days, then you got the weekend, and then you'd go full bore from there. But we got out in mid-June, and now kids, I mean, August was precious. That was a vacation month.
Yeah.
And now it's up for grabs.
Well, growing up in South Florida, we always started right about the last week of August. So about a week, maybe a week and a half before Labor Day.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I think Labor Day, we often heard that was like the New York style, the New York and D.C. style. Everyone started after Labor Day. At least, you know, East Coast, that's what you talk about, East Coasters. But here, I mean, hearing some of these districts start, first off, the last week of July, that is just absurd. That is absurdly early. You better be you better be starting your summer in January.
But these kids get out the first, second week of May.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope so.
You're still
they have
doing
extra breaks. They have like October, they have 2 weeks. It's like they have extra breaks throughout the year.
Yeah, ski break?
So that's why.
The first time I ever heard of a ski break.
Well, you grew up in
was when I
Florida, so you had
would have
beach
loved the
breaks.
beach break, yeah.
No kidding. Now, Amanda, you grew up in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
When did you start school? Where?
I think it was late August.
Late August, yeah.
But for some reason, in my mind, September is back to school for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just like what feels like back to school, is just like the month of September.
It seems like when all your TV shows came back for the next season, like it was all September. Obviously,
that's changed
football
now too,
gets
right?
like fully underway. Because you really have mostly the preseason and the first round games of college football are like kind of.
Well, have you been to Costco lately? They already got Halloween out in full.
I was looking at the costumes already.
Someone said on the radio the other day, 136 days till Christmas. So it's like,
oh gosh,
we're all in a hurry to go nowhere. I mean, embrace the summer a little bit. Were you able to talk to any students or parents that were dropping off kids?
I talked to a parent. I tried to talk to a preschooler. She was so cute, but as soon as the camera got on her, she went, oh gosh.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, I love covering back to school because it's so cute. You see these kids that the backpack is like bigger than them.
Yeah.
They're walking in there all excited for their first day. And she was, I think, 3.5, so her first day of preschool. So it was cute.
And I bet the parents, remember that old Staples commercial where they're shopping and the kids are all bummed out and the dad's like dancing around getting them Staples.
Loves to get all the stuff.
I am so glad you kids are going back to school. I imagine the parents, because it's, you know, if you've got two parents that work, school's great structure. You get your kids, you know, off at 8 o'clock, and you got a bit of a break. You got two little ones, so they're not in school
Not
just
in
yet,
school
right?
yet, but I was looking at the preschool, and I was going to cry thinking that my kid's going to have to go to school one day.
Your youngest is?
Well, my oldest is 2.5. So you have to be, I was reading it, you have to be 3 by December, at least in the Oakland School District, to go to preschool. So it's like, you know, these kids are just turned 3. They're young, but
You're not ready to let her go,
No,
Jessica.
not yet.
Started early.
No, I'm not ready
early.
yet.
Oh my God! So the superintendent, though, she was excited.
She was excited. She was, and she, you know, first day of school, she loves to see all the decor and all the kids coming in and be excited about that. I think it's still, though, is going to be a very tough job, like with all the financial problems, with the safety issues at OUSD, and so there's a lot on her plate. Even though she was presenting today, this is exciting, first day of school, that she has a big job ahead.
Is she the interim?
Yes. So right now she's interim just for this school year is what she's been hired for, and they haven't finalized her contract to say if she's going to be superintendent for any longer than that.
Would she like to continue it? And any reason why, we've probably hashed this out before, but the The former superintendent was there for a number of years, 8 years. They had to pay her out in those last 2 years of the contract.
Yeah, that was toward the end of last school year. There was a closed door meeting. There were school board members that were trying to really raise some awareness about it, thinking that they were going to fire her behind closed doors. But the board president at the time had mentioned that Kyla Johnson Trammell had this thing in her, this clause in her contract that essentially said that she would kind of start to step away from the duties somewhat and have a second kind of co-superintendent who would help. And they thought, well, we don't really want two co-superintendents.
So they made the decision to
we want just one superintendent. And then they would start the search eventually.
8 years in any school district as a superintendent. My father-in-law was a superintendent of schools. And oh my God.
It's a service.
I mean, and this was years ago. It's a 24/7 job.
No doubt.
You know, trying to juggle everything, let alone the parents and the budget. And with Oakland, with you know, just there's not enough kids going to schools. They got to shut down schools. It's a difficult proposition.
There's also this executive director of safety, which is a brand new position that Oakland just introduced over the summer. Leading the charge is a guy by the name, I think is Nelson Alegria. He will be kind of leading the charge of what safety looks like, you know, protocols set up. You know, what more can you
Well, now that they don't have police in the schools anymore, because 5 years ago they took that away. So it's kind of like, how do we do safety now? It's interesting. I talked to a student in the high school about this today, because I asked her, you know, new superintendent, kind of what do you want to see changed? Are there things that you think need to change? And she's entering her senior year, all excited. And she said one of the things is how they handle problems between two students.
Really?
They're not good at that. Was what she had seen. She said, you know, she kind of understood that when there are police in the schools, it could create some tension, but she feels like that was better than having a teacher try to...
But they've been out for 5 years.
5 years,
and I know they have a new executive director of safety, right?
Yeah.
That's supposed to help.
That's what I was mentioning.
Yeah,
that's the new role that they started over the summer.
That we kind of have to figure out what does safety look like at OUSD.
Well, it's difficult. Kids growing up, hormones, especially at the high school level. There's a lot going on, cell phones.
And who steps up if there's an issue between two students? Who is the one to try to figure it out if there aren't police?
Before it gets to
before it gets to a fight or, you know, violence.
Okay. Well, Fremont, Dublin, San Mateo, Foster City School Districts, they start tomorrow. San Ramon Valley, Santa Clara, Livermore, Milpitas are on Wednesday. So it's time to go back to school. You got to wait a couple of years there, Amanda.
No. I'll wait as long as I can.
Well, we thank you for joining us out on the street. I know you got to get ready for the noon show. More Take Two coming up right after the break. Stay right there. Welcome back. Take two. Frank Malicote here. We got James Torres, and we pulled Sammy off the desk. Amanda's getting ready for the noon. You're on our assignment desk, and I know you're a sports fan and pop culture. And Hulk Hogan passed away last month. He was 71. He's kind of a controversial character, but what a showman he was. Put the WWF and the WWE really on the map, and kind of had a star-crossed life. A lot going on there. But you spoke to TMZ this morning. We got an hour special tomorrow via TMZ that's going to air on KTVU at 8 o'clock. And what did Harvey have to say?
One of my first questions to Harvey was, today, or just last month when Hulk Hogan passed away, if you were 70, 80 years old, you know who Hulk Hogan is. If you were 12 or 13 years old, you probably know who Hulk Hogan is. So I asked him, how is that the case? How has this man maintained his, for lack of a better word, popularity, his notoriety? How is he so well known? And Harvey simply said, he has just kept being relevant, whether it was for better or for worse. But he was constantly in some headline. He was constantly involved in,
reality
wrestling, reality TV, most recently in politics. If you remember, he was at the Republican.
RNC?
Yeah, he was at the Republican National Convention, ripped his shirt off mid-speech endorsing President Trump. And one of his appearances immediately after that, I think it was at some sports arena. I don't remember what game it was. Got a lot of feedback for that. So he was in all these different realms that wrestling started for him.
But his Q rating off the charts because he's so recognizable. The guy's a Goliath.
I mean,
it's like 6'7".
It's the look.
Monster.
It's the look. It's the voice. It's the
Take your vitamins, kids.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Yeah. Everyone's his brother.
You grew up with him.
Yeah,
right?
Hogan Knows Best was something I watched all the time. I'll never forget watching him drink whatever it was every day, like a dozen raw eggs. He just like throw them in there and you just watch it. And I'm like, ugh. But yeah, no, that was a part of my childhood, a big part of my childhood. Me and all my friends would watch that stuff, and we loved wrestling, and it was good times, good vibes.
So I did sports for a number of years. I'm in Manchester, New Hampshire for 5 years as their sports director on ABC station. And, I've been live with Bill Russell. I've been live, with Celtics, all kinds of people. And the one night I go live at JFK Coliseum with the Honky Tonk Man and Jimmy Hart, my phone exploded. Oh my God, oh my God. The popularity of wrestling off the charts.
Yep.
And it's not just young people, it's old people. My grandfather lived to be 100 up in Portland, Oregon. Haystack Calhoun, Harusa Saki. He was in his 90s going to wrestling matches.
That's awesome.
It appeals to people, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I mean, I think every millennial, maybe, as a kid, saw a lot of what was, I think it was WWF first.
Right, then WWE.
Yeah, and I mean, even in this documentary that's going to air tomorrow night, I think 8 p.m. tomorrow night, the people, Sylvester Stallone is going to be involved because, as you may know, Hulk Hogan was in the third Rocky. Was it the third movie?
I think it was Rocky III.
Yeah, so he was a movie star, you could say. Vince McMahon, who was the commissioner, CEO, president, founder of WWF, WWE, who almost never does any sort of TV interview. You will never find a quote from that man on any sort of media outlet, but TMZ's got him, as they do. Yep. Mick Foley, who, if I remember correctly, he had the sock.
Wow, you know more than I do.
I grew up with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock when he was in the ring.
Rock, right.
So yeah, they've got a number of these guys, Charlotte Flair, all of these people lined up to talk about Hulk Hogan in a number of different ways. Again, even just outside the wrestling world, he's got so many other influences that
he's pop culture. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, that guy owned the world. And then it kind of fell apart.
But not always for the good.
No.
He
had some controversy, right? He had some racist
daughter didn't talk to him, went through a really bad divorce. Right. He made some racist comments and kind of got ostracized.
The sex tape and then the lawsuit with Gawker. Yeah. That was a lot of money.
Yeah. So all of that, according to Harvey and according to TMZ,
squished into an hour special.
Into this hour special.
All right.
And they say, it's a lot more than just talking about Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. It's unpacking a lot of Hulk Hogan stuff, and it could be really interesting to check out.
Well, we'll look forward to that. That's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And quickly, Outside Lands has come and gone. 3 days of concerts.
Yeah.
The week before, we had the, Dead and Company, 3 days of concerts. And next week, another show on Friday night. I'm kind of interested how the mayor had said $70 million into the local economy. It really is, it's bringing new people into the city. And hopefully they're exploring. And I got to hand it, I don't know if Daniel Lurie had anything to do with it, but bringing people to San Francisco is a good thing and trying to bring tourism back.
Dead and Company, I heard, I did a story talking with SF Travel a couple days ago, and they said during the Dead and Company concerts, it was almost impossible to find a T-shirt to buy because they were just flying off the racks.
Well, they were everywhere.
They had people from all 50 states here. They had people from more than 30 countries here just for Dead and Company. And then Outside Lands tends to be a little bit more local, but you have the entire Bay Area coming to Golden Gate Park. You have even parts of California, different regions in the state.
There are some huge names.
Here.
Oh,
yeah, some great names and great performances.
Those are finished, Doja Cat.
And then now you're going to just scale it down just a little bit to have Zach Bryan and Kings of Leon, who are both incredible performers, very popular artists. So,
now, do you go to these kind of concerts?
I'm not a big music festival guy.
Festival guy.
And I also just, truth be told, don't know Dead and Grateful Dead all that well.
Yeah, I should. I mean, it came up during my era. I went to a Dead concert once in Reno, but I can't tell you what I saw. Most of the action is not what the music's going on. It's the people in the audience, and that was probably 1982. But they're exhausting. But
concerts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Golden Gate Park is a fantastic venue. I know a lot of people who live in the neighborhood will certainly talk about the noise complaints and the traffic.
Pam was golfing at the Presidio, said she heard every
Well,
word.
Of course, they're playing for 250,000 people. They've got to blare this stuff.
Exactly.
And people pay a lot of big dollars for it. So I feel for the neighborhood around, but it is Outside Lands after all.
We'll hold it there. We're going to talk a little sports, a little Valkyries. 49ers picked up someone. Football season is here. Preseason game number one. This guy is salivating because he may be the biggest fantasy football player in all the Bay Area. More on that as Take Two moves along to the third quarter, so to speak, right after this.
Third period.
Welcome back. Take two. We've got Sammy off our assignment desk. James Torres, yours truly here. Talk a little sports to kind of finish the show out. Valkyries, big game tonight. They're taking on the Connecticut Sun, which, by the way, is a franchise moving to Boston here in the next year or two. But they have an egg that's been kind of incubating right there in Thrive Plaza for a little bit. They're going to bring it indoors and probably hatch it pregame or maybe during halftime. Any idea what might be in there?
It's funny, they kind of slowly rolled it in the middle of Thrive City one day, and of course, you know, they gave all the media groups a heads up to go shoot it, but like the way they threw it down there, I thought was just so funny and so brilliant, because obviously it's piquing everyone's curiosity. Everyone wants to know what is this thing all about. A lot of speculation that it's just going to unveil their new mascot and officially tell us
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, who the next
that makes some
what
sense.
the next thing to represent them will be. So we'll have to see tonight.
Sammy, you sit next to Geneva, who's got season tickets.
Yep.
And she bought them. Said, I don't know. That's a hot ticket now. This team.
Yeah.
It's a new franchise. They just beat the LA Sparks. They have the number 8 spot right now. They've got a month left in the season.
But a hard loss.
Selling out everything.
A hard loss losing Kayla Thornton for the season.
True.
Yeah. Who was their sharpshooter, their practically team
best
leader.
Player, really.
Best player. No
but look what this franchise has done. And I mean,
just in their first year.
First
it's
year.
Amazing.
I mean, Joe Lacobb's a genius, really.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it, I think, on Friday. It's like only the Golden Knights are the only team that comes to my mind right away. That
right
have
out of the
such
gate playing well.
success. The Jaguars, it took them a couple years when in the early
Coughlin
90s, but like it's one heck of a start. I mean, I did not expect it.
Well, I think Caitlin Clark has a little something to do with bringing more eyes to the WNBA.
For sure.
And the Valkyries have just been unbelievable. Finished with the 49ers, their preseason game. Mac Jones looked pretty good. Their quarterback in that opening series got a touchdown. They're kind of hurting at running back right now. They got rid of Elijah Mitchell. Debo, who was both a wideout and a running back, and Jordan Mason is now at Minnesota. So they signed an old friend, Jeff Wilson, from Miami.
Yeah, I saw Tim Kawakami tweet the other day. It certainly feels like it's called Jeff Wilson time. And a couple hours later,
They called him up.
Called him up. So, yeah, no, you know, for the Niners, it's going to be a lot of what, you know, it is for a lot of other teams. If starters go down, you're going to have some serious trouble. They don't have the depth that they did.
It's pretty obvious.
I think they're hoping that McCaffrey is going to stay fully healthy this year. I mean, you went a whole year without him last year, which was just so tough. But when he was the offensive player of the year, the AP offensive player of the year 2 years ago, the last time he was healthy for a full season. So hopefully he brings that same kind of energy and that same kind of style of play. I will say college football is also coming up pretty soon. The Florida Gators will be ranked
the top 25.
in the top 15, if you will. Top 15.
Can we talk about Cal? Can we talk about Cal?
Are they?
No,
are they
not
ranked? They just lost their quarterback.
Of the Manning name.
They lost Mendoza, their best quarterback in probably since Goff. You know, and they brought in a new offensive coordinator, and he also brought a quarterback. And when asked, Mendoza said, well, I'm your starter. Right? Well, you're going to compete for the job. And he goes, hello, Indiana.
I'm out.
I'm coming. And off he goes. He might be a Heisman candidate. I think that kid is good.
I mean, he was incredibly impressive against Miami last year.
To lose already. I mean, Texas being ranked one, it's like, nah, I don't know.
No,
I said candidate. I didn't say he was going to win. Only because he went to Cal and left, you know?
It's a DJ Lagway Heisman year. You heard it here first.
No.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
Homer.
No.
He'd wear an orange and blue suit.
Just no.
Well, we're 27 days away from the 49ers opener.
Yep.
That'll be right here on KTVU.
We've got a photographer down there right now shooting practice. He'll, you know, get the press conferences afterwards. So we should get some updates on some injuries, right?
Interesting to see.
19 injuries, players who couldn't play. Not only the guys they sat out because they were starters, but there were 19 guys that Shanahan couldn't play in that Denver game.
You know, I'm a Titans fan, and so we suffered through it a couple years where we were the only team more injured than the Niners. But the Niners, for like 5 years in a row now,
have just been
and at some point, I think you got to like look at, you know, why, how, what are we doing? Is there something we can do differently? Because I mean, half of the NFL is a battle of attrition, right? Like, who's healthiest the latest?
And
well, take you back to last year too. Jake Moody was a big conversation. He kicked this weekend. I think he only had one one kick and it was an extra point.
That was it. They scored 9, then gave up 30 pretty quick. So,
but he ended up winning out the kicking battle, and they released the guy who was supposed to kind of light some fire under him.
well, to be continued. Let's see how he does, in the battle. Anyway, hey, Sammy, thanks for coming up stairs and joining the crew. I know you're going to do Like It or Not here in a moment.
Yep.
So well done, gentlemen.
Lucky guy.
That is a wrap here on Take Two. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Welcome to Making Sense of AI Together, the podcast that explores how artificial intelligence is reshaping our everyday lives. I'm Claudine Wong, journalist and news anchor.
And I'm Lisa Bernard, a former TV journalist, now creating AI content on my Instagram channel, Demystify AI. Each week, we break down the buzz,